Hey guys, I'm Evan. Welcome to Country View Acres. So today we are going to be putting in brand new bushings and pins in the excavator. We're going to get it put back together with a quick coupler, with a brand new bucket, and with a thumb, and finally get it to where we can start doing some work with it. Now I started it up and I was going to move it to the garage, and when I did, I have a hydraulic cylinder, the bucket tilt cylinder I have off of here right now, and the hoses are just up here. And when I started that engine, man, it just started spraying hydraulic fluid everywhere. And I didn't see that one coming. I figured if I wasn't moving the controls, it wouldn't do anything. But the other thing is, I didn't have this down either. And all the hydraulics should have been dead. At least that's the way I understand. You know, none of your controls work with this up. But man, it sure shot out the hydraulic fluid when I started the engine. So I don't think I'm going to be able to move the excavator unless I get some caps to cap the lines, or if I get the cylinder put back on and hooked up. I think other than that, it's gonna have to stay right there for now. All right, so in these two little boxes right here, I've got all my Kubota parts. I've got a total of 9 bushings. I've got 12 seals, and then I've got 2 brand new pins. And all these parts from Kubota was around $1,500. I mean, they just rob you on these parts for such small little boxes here, and it costs that much. So I think what I'm gonna do now is, I've still got the hydraulic cylinder on the hydraulic press, so we're gonna go ahead and put a brand new bushing in the hydraulic cylinder, got a couple new seals that go on it, and then we'll see if we can get it mounted on the machine, get the hydraulic hoses hooked back up. That way I can actually start the excavator up and move it in here into the workshop for us to work on the rest of it. So this right here, it's an oil seal, and it's going to go on both sides of this bushing, and that's going to help keep the grease on the inside. That way the grease goes completely around and greases the pin instead of like grease coming out the side. Flip it over, put one on the other side. I got the pin started. Oh, that's good. So the worst bushing on this machine is probably this one here on the bottom arm. It wore the inside of the bushing, but it also, the bushing came loose where it started to turn, and it wore the actual arm. It actually wore this hole out, so it's bigger than it should be. So when you put the bushing in there, it just slides in and out, and it should be a press fit. So one way to fix this would be to bore this out so that it's round again, a bigger diameter, but then a factory bushing wouldn't necessarily fit anymore. You'd probably have to make a custom bushing, or you would have to insert a sleeve on the inside so it's back down to the original size. I don't want to try to do that. That's probably beyond what I could do easily. So my fix is this right here. This is Loctite 660. This is a press fit repair Loctite. And what it'll do is it will glue the bushing in place, and it will fill voids up to 1/2 millimeter of thickness. And this will dry without air. So you can glue this bushing in here, and we can put a pin in it, make sure that it's perfectly aligned with the other side, let it sit for 24 hours, and this should hold the bushing in place. So there's 2 bushings. There's one that goes in each side, and the other side is worn. This side is not worn. So I don't have to do anything to this side. I just need to put in the new bushing. I've got it in the freezer, hoping that it'll maybe shrink a little bit. Maybe it'll be easier to go in. Probably won't be. You really need liquid nitrogen to really get it super cold to make these easy to go in. But I'm going to grab it. We'll get this bushing put in first. There we go, I think she's in. Now in the middle there is a spacer, and it does have a hole. It's got a couple holes actually for grease to be able to go through, so I'm just gonna try to line that hole up with the grease cert. Get that in there. And this Loctite is a lot thicker. Can you see it? It's not like watery like thread locker is. So we'll get some on here, we'll wipe it around. All right, we've got quite a bit on there. I'm just gonna put it in here and I'm just gonna spin it as I put it in. That way it helps coat everything really good. And there you go, it's in all the way. And then I've got a pin right here. I'm gonna put it in here. That way it is aligned with the other side. Oh, when she went, she went. Yeah. So what we're gonna do now, we're just gonna let that dry for 24 hours with that pin in there. We should be good to go. All right, another cold bushing right out of the freezer. Oh, no, 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 no. My other, this other one that I'm gluing in place has come out. Since this bushing down here started coming out, I think I should not mess with this and hammer on it until this dries for 24 hours. So we'll head in there to the press. We'll press the rest of the bushings into the other pieces, the other linkage that goes on the bucket, and then I guess we're done till tomorrow. All right, bushing straight out of the freezer. Man, this sucker's tight. Trying to go down just 4.5 millimeters. All right, let's see where we're at here. With our calipers, 4.58 millimeters, perfect. Now we gotta flip it over. Boom. There you go. I can just tell it's just below the surface, just barely. So it's been 24 hours now, and this glue should be fully dried on that bottom bushing. So I'm gonna go ahead. We just got these last couple bushings here to drive in, and then we can assemble the coupler, the thumb, and the bucket. Now I need to get this in about 4.5 millimeters so I can fit in a seal. This is going to be the hard part. So that right there is proving pretty hard to do. I think I'm going to make a piece on the lathe that will self-center and hold itself in place, and then maybe I'll be able to drive it in that way. So right here, this is the piece that I made. So you can see there's two diameters. The outside diameter is slightly smaller than the bushing, and then the inside diameter is just slightly smaller than the inside of the bushing. So I should be able to fit it like right in there. It kind of fits perfectly inside, and then I can hit this with a hammer, and I should be able to drive it in a little further. So hopefully this works. So now we can take our seal, and we should be able to drive it in. We'll try the same way. All right, we got a bushing straight out of the freezer. What's the point of going in this? Oh, there we go. Oh, there's one. All right, brass hammer. So this is the quick coupler that I just put on, and it came with roll pins. A lot of people put bolts in there so they can quickly change things out, but considering this is a quick coupler, I think I can go ahead and just put the roll pins in. Well, I think that's it. That's everything on the excavator. Now the only thing is, that's not it. Hold on. Oh, I just screwed up. I forgot that when we put the thumb on here, the thumb has a brand new pin that's longer and goes in this spot, and the thumb goes on the outside edge of this. So I need to take that roll pin back out. That was I wasn't really quite thinking, I guess. Oh yeah, somewhere in there. Oh my God, it started. Woo! In. Yes. So here's the hydraulic cylinder for the thumb. You can see it's already got grease zerks installed in it. And it just pins up here on the arm. Whew. So this hydraulic thumb that I ordered came with the hydraulic hoses, but you gotta pick what the lengths of the hose were. And they had a standard configuration and they had some other options. And I wasn't for sure how the cylinder was gonna come. I wasn't for sure what the right length was. So they had a standard option and I went with that. I think one's a 2-foot hose and one's a 3-foot hose. And the 3-foot hose isn't really working out. So here's a 2-foot hose, comes out of the diverter valve, bends around, comes up, goes into the cylinder. That one works perfectly. Now on this side, the hydraulic fitting is down here at the bottom of the cylinder, and this hose seems really long. So if you configure it like that, you've got this big S in the middle of it, and I'd be afraid it would rub along here possibly. I mean, that could possibly work, but you can't put it sideways or else it'll definitely hit on the arm. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna run to town, I'm gonna grab another 24-inch hose like what's on this side. I think it'll just work out better. And then I think I'll go ahead and buy these couplers that go on the other side of the diverter valve. That way this thing is ready for other attachments. Well, it's day 3 now, and I finally got everything put together the right way, or more or less the right way, on the excavator. So I only made one mistake, and down here on this bottom set of bushings on the arm, there was a spacer I threw in there, and that spacer wasn't actually supposed to go there. It was supposed to go in this pin above it. But it's no big deal. The bushings are pressed in exactly where they're supposed to be. It's just there's a little bit more of a void in here to fill up with grease than there probably should be. But it's really not going to affect anything. So I've got the hydraulics all hooked up. You can see we've got the skid steer quick attach coupler on the diverter valve so that we can hook up other attachments. The thumb is plumbed in because it will probably stay on the machine the entire time. It'll never come off. And on the other side, we've got the skid steer quick attach as well. And then we've got 2-foot long hose here. And that's routed quite a bit better than what it was with the 3-foot hose. So I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. So the thumb that I purchased is from Runser Custom Machining out of Idaho. And they make several excavator thumbs for several different brands of excavators. This is made out of AR 400 steel, which means it's abrasion resistant. It's a 400 Brinell hardness. Basically, it's made not to wear out or break. And this Kubota style quick coupler I purchased from USA Attachments. I think they're out of North Carolina, but this is USA made quick coupler. Should be the exact same dimensions as the original Kubota one. So you've got this pin that you pull out to change attachments and then put it back in, and then you've just got a pin on this side to retain it. So as I was putting this all together, I ran into several problems. One, the original pin for the quick coupler, remember it had a roll pin that went into it. Now it's to keep it from rotating so it doesn't wear out the quick coupler. Well, the longer pin on the thumb was not drilled to be pinned to the quick coupler. So then the pin could rotate, it could wear out the quick coupler. So I ended up taking that pin, I marked it, I took it into the drill press, I drilled it out, and then I've got the roll pin back in there so it won't rotate no more. So I basically fixed this pin. And then I had a few problems with grease zerks. And the grease zerks on the Kubota excavator are oddball. They're actually an 1/8" pipe thread, but they're a British standard pipe thread. So they're like 1 thread per inch difference than an American national pipe thread. The threads are tapered a little bit differently. The threads are cut a little bit differently. They're not compatible with each other. So I've got one in here where somebody had forced an American pipe thread into it, and it's like seized up in there pretty good, but it still works. And then I had another one that fell out in my hand. I just thought it was in there loose, but no, they only had it in about a 1/2 thread because that's about as far as it'd go. And you can't find these grease fittings locally at a farm store. I had to go to a Kubota dealer this morning and get some grease fittings for this, and I got all of the holes filled back up. I think I've got them all fixed. Oh, I got one down here that's leaking out of it. I need to go ahead and replace it. But that was another big deal, is that these Kubotas use some really oddball grease fittings. So now that we got the excavator all put together, let's go ahead. I'll get the brand new bucket that I bought, and it's also from USA Attachments, made in the United States. I did buy all these parts. These aren't sponsored or nothing. I'm just kind of sharing with you what I'm using. But let's go ahead, we'll grab that bucket and then we'll get it mounted to the excavator. So the front of the quick coupler should fit in between the thumb and the quick coupler. Like, get it in there all the way. Then I should just be able to rotate down into it like that. And then I just gotta put the pin through. Boy, went pretty good for my first time hooking up a bucket. Now let's go ahead and get the rest of these grease points hit. I think there's about like 154 grease points on this thing. There's quite a few. Well, we've put about a full tube of grease in this machine so far. Definitely seemed a little dry. All right, I think I got the excavator all ready to go, so let's test it out. So first thing I want to do, I've got this stump, and it was in the old fence line. It is completely wrapped around with wire, so I couldn't grind it out with the stump grinder. So I think we'll go pop it out of the ground real quick with this. It's probably less than a 12-inch diameter, should not take very long for this big of a machine. And then we will head over to the firewood shed, and we'll start cleaning up all of the rotten logs and stuff that are around there. We'll get them all picked up. Maybe we can get them all put in the dump trailer and just get that area cleaned up. I think that'll be a good test of learning how to use the thumb with the excavator, picking things up and moving them. I think it'll be some good practice, and we'll get some stuff done. So right here is the stump I was talking about. Not even a 12-inch diameter, but you see this huge, hopefully you can see it. It's got a huge ball of wire on this side, and then it completely wraps around the stump. It's probably in the ground as well. So we'll go ahead and get this popped out of there. It does have a little bit sticking up. Might be able to push on it. Oh man. Easy job, isn't it? Easier than I thought it was gonna be. There's a hump of dirt here. I'm just trying to level it out so I can mow through here. £12,000. That ought to compact that a little bit. So I don't tear up my fence. All right, that stump came out really easy. And we've got this hump, there's a hump right here. We got it leveled out, we got the hole filled in and got it all compacted down. So at least you can mow through there now. That was kind of the big problem. So we'll go ahead and grab the dump trailer, and then we'll get all this thrown in there, and then we'll head over to the firewood shed. First thing I want to do is I want to pull out this old water hydrant. None of the water lines here are any good. Bend in it, and she's out. Yeah, all the old water lines through here, they've been cut multiple times, like none of them are any good. They all went back to the old well, I suppose they did. Buried in these weeds, a lot of old rotten logs. Well, you can see I got a pretty good sized load, almost filled it up completely. And then all I was doing was just reaching down. I was picking up that little bitty log right there. And then all of a sudden, like, I had a hose burst out. One of the auxiliary hoses, I think it's this auxiliary hose right here, it just started pouring out of here. And yeah, now I got another problem that needs to be fixed. Go figure. So let's go ahead, we'll get this trailer dumped. We'll put it in the burn pit, and then we'll come back and we'll just try to figure out exactly what part I need to replace next. But definitely, it definitely was pouring out hydraulic fluid, that's for sure. I guess I picked up a concrete block, didn't realize it. Well, this thing definitely sprayed hydraulic fluid everywhere. You can see it. I don't know if you can see it, how well you can see it. It is all over the cab. Heck, it's all the way back here in the back. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put the camera up as high as I can, and I'm just gonna turn the engine on for a few seconds and turn it right back off. Hopefully we can figure out for sure what's blown, but I'm gonna guess it's this big hose right there blew. Oh yeah, golly, that's a big leak. Well, as much as all the other Kubota parts have cost, I wouldn't be surprised that's a $300-400 hose. And I bet you that'll take a couple weeks to get here. And that's 2 more weeks I'm gonna have to wait before doing work with this excavator. I'm starting to think I made a bad choice. Like maybe I shouldn't have bought this. So whoever, I'm pretty sure from there's spots where you can tell there used to be stickers. Pretty sure this was like a rental. It's probably been abused like crazy. And hopefully this is the last thing I gotta fix. I'll go ahead and close this up because I obviously can't run the engine. It's gonna have to stay parked here till we get a new part. So here at the Firewood shed, we did get all of this wood that was wrapped around through here, all picked up. We still have not too much, you know, we've got probably less than 10 pieces of wood. So we're close to having this stuff all cleaned up. And I did end up knocking one of these, I broke one of the posts off. Yeah, I think I was coming back and I hit that post, it broke off, so you can see it's angled there. But it's still, it didn't fall down, so it's still somewhat standing. But man, I just very disappointed that I was ready to get going with this thing. And now we got another problem. So it has been, I've been working on this thing for 3 days, trying to get everything put back together. There's a lot of little time-consuming stuff, you know, trying to make sure everything was just right. And now it looks like I've probably got another day's worth of work. I'm gonna have to replace that hose. I'm also gonna order some shims. So there's shims that you can buy that'll go in between all these places here on the linkage and help kind of tighten that up so the bucket doesn't slide back and forth on the pins. I've taken measurements with some feeler gauges. I know exactly, I've got the part numbers already. And I was gonna order the shims for the bucket, about 6 or 8 shims. And now I guess I'm gonna order a hose at the same time. So the side of the hose that busted, that was the retract side of the hose. I'm not sure why it ended up doing that. Maybe it's because maybe I'm curling the bucket into, you know, the thumb, and that's pressuring up that line on the retract side. Maybe that's why it ended up busting. It should be able to hold that pressure. It's just probably getting weak. But it just occurred to me, I probably take that hose apart up there and then I can go and find a hydraulic cap and I can cap that off. And then I can still run the excavator and I can run it back. I can still use the bucket. I just probably won't be able to use the thumb because that is the auxiliary hydraulic line. So like I said earlier, this is the 3rd day of working on the excavator. Finally get it all put back together with the new hydraulic thumb and new bucket. Probably use it for less than 2 hours, it breaks on me. This thing, it's not giving me a good feeling, that's for sure. I hope that this is the last thing that breaks, because if it's just continually like one thing after another and then another thing, I am very much going to regret buying this excavator. So we'll just have to wait and see how it all turns out, I guess. But time will tell. It's not giving me a good feeling right now. But anyway, I think that's going to be it for this video, guys. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.